I thought at some point somebody would teach me how to live. I thought at some point somebody would teach me how to actually live my life, but that never happened. I thought somebody would teach me how to create my life. That never happened. What I was conditioned from day one, if you do all the right things and judge yourself all the time, then everything will work. And here I was kind of going, what the heck? You can either have judgment or joy. You can either have judgment or gratitude. You can either have judgment or happiness. Maybe consider choosing being more of you. What if you could have a lot more beauty, have a lot more ease, have a lot more joy, have a lot more caring for you and others? If you look at it, it's like one of the reasons we love being around babies, even if we're an old crusty curmudgeon, is because they don't judge. They don't have any point of view except, hi. And that was us too when we were babies. And so many of us have such a desire to have that freedom again. And then the question is, okay, what happened? And what happens is we're conditioned to grow up judging everything. We're conditioned that the world is black and white and that we need to figure out what's right so we don't choose what's wrong. And sometimes it's stated verbally, but even if it's not, it puts us in a constant state of this nonstop judgment about everything. Am I doing the right thing right now? Oh, I had this conversation. This person was upset. What did I do wrong? And our fundamental point of view becomes, what did I do wrong? Rather than what else is possible I've never considered. And so we're conditioned to do this from moment one. And there's this interesting shift that occurs, and it seems to be occurring earlier now, but like in that 6, 7, 8-year-old range, where someone goes from living their life not believing in a reality of judgment or a value of it, that it just doesn't exist in their world. You can say it, but they don't hear it. And then around 7 or 8, there's this moment. And, in working with a lot of people around the world, I've asked them about this and they go, yep, there was this one moment I was in second grade and somebody judged me for something and it felt like a stab in the heart. And I'm like, okay, so from that moment, what have you done? They're like, I have tried to avoid it. I've tried to be perfect. I've tried to get everything right. I thought I was such a terrible person. Like so many things that we as adults have that started way back when. And it's because of this conditioning into a world of judgment that we've all received. That's the way the world out there functions. If you didn't have that, you couldn't have war. If you didn't have that, you couldn't have separation. If you didn't have that, you would have happiness. And you start to realize, like if you've ever had a moment of just total peace and joy where it was like everything was okay, that's you truly being you. That's you being you. And you've for a moment, you pulled out the power plug on your judgment machine. And your judgment machine is basically your mind and blah, blah. The specifics of that aren't as important as the awareness of this conditioning, and that you don't feel wrong because you're wrong. You feel wrong because you've been conditioned to judge you as wrong. And that is a way so many of us grow up. We're made wrong for something, but we don't understand the concept of wrongness. So we then, it hurts. When you get judged, it hurts. You can either have judgment or joy. You can either have judgment or gratitude. You can either have judgment or happiness. What we do is we try to cut off what creates this yucky feeling. And we're not trying to be yucky. We're not trying to make people angry or whatever reaction they have. We just don't know what we're doing. We're just being us. And we get the message very early on, don't be you. Be anything but you. Be what we judge as appropriate and do not be anything else. And here we are today, still trying some version of the same thing, no matter how old we are. It's like you think, okay, I've been judged for this, so I'll try to be definitely not this, but you're also validated with positive judgment for other things. And the lie that we buy is all judgment is looking at the negative. Not necessarily. Judgment can be positive also. What we don't realize is we are energetic beings. And what does that mean? It means that we keep thinking somehow the world is like concrete blocks and it's very linear, but it's not. It's actually far more fluid. And so a little baby has such awareness of when mom is sad, for example, or when dad is angry. or when dad is sad to try to cover up his anger, et cetera, et cetera. And that it's like swimming in a soup. It's like it being in a steam room, but it's not steam, it's emotions, it's feelings, it's thoughts and judgments. And so living in that soup, we try to navigate based on the broth, basically. And nobody ever tells us this. Nobody tells us we're energetic beings. We think we start picking up things because this is what I was told. You pick up from the moment you are born. We pick it up energetically, and we pick up the good, the bad, the right, the wrong. We pick up every point of view mom has, every point of view dad has. And then what happens is there's a glorious thing that occurs at the age of 2. We learn this miraculous word, no. And from that point, we're trying to sort of like do our own thing, which frustrates some parents really dynamically, especially if you're really strong and strong willed. And different parents respond to it differently. Some laugh, some are grateful for it, but most are like, it's my will over yours. And we will respond to that differently too. If we're a fighter, we'll be like, and you start your life in a fight from 2 years old because these people are fighters and they believe their power is in controlling you. But here you are. And if you're a fighter, you're like, nobody's controlling me. So here you are still fighting at 50 years old or whatever it is. The way I responded was, oh, you don't want me to be that? Okay, I will try not to be that. Each of us has our own flavor in the way that we've done that, but we picked up on what was right and wrong, good and bad, what was appropriate, inappropriate from the moment we were conceived. And so it's pre-verbal, it's precognitive. The beauty is with access consciousness, we have a way of changing even those things from present day, which is really, really helpful. For me, what I tried to do is I tried to be perfect. And here's the thing about perfect is it puts you in such a non-stop state of judgment of you. And so while having some moments of happiness and some really good friends that I could be me with, most of life was about judging what I had done wrong and trying to do it better. That thing that you are great at is a gift to all of us, even though you were usually told that thing you're great at and the thing that comes easily for you and makes you happy, you were usually told that you shouldn't be that because you'll make other people feel bad. Well, okay, so that's a lie. So we can acknowledge that there are a lot of lies as we grow up. There's a lot of lies, and our greatest difficulty is trying to make lies true and using the very energy of our soul and being to do it. I thought at some point somebody would teach me how to live. I thought at some point somebody would teach me how to actually live my life, but that never happened. I thought somebody would teach me how to create my life. That never happened. But what I was conditioned from day one, if you do all the right things and judge yourself all the time, then everything will work. And here I was kind of going, what the heck? That was where I finally went, I've had enough. All I wanted was to be happy. I remember driving to work on the freeway and I would look left and right and go, wow, am I the only unhappy one here? And I finally got to a place where I was like, I'm done. Universe, you got 6 months. I've been trying to change my life. I've been trying to change other people's lives. I'll get happy maybe for a day and then it goes away. If that doesn't change, I'm out of here. And a week later, I saw an ad for Access Consciousness. It's something that gifts every day. It's amazing to me that I've been doing this for 25 years and there's still more every day that's wonderful. Not so, whereas before the seeking was about getting out of pain, and so the more was, yay, I am not in pain in this area now. Now the more is about what else is possible, truly, and that's actually a tool. Please use it for anything. What else is possible? And that's a way of going out of the judgment and the wrongness that you have. What else is possible? Very simple, but very powerful question. What most of us do is we start with wrongness and then we go to supposed question, which is not question, it's validation of wrongness. So basically, we're judging ourselves with the question we ask. Our favorite way to do that is, what's wrong with me? Oh, this again. Like, why is this always happening to me? Like, those are not questions, because what you'll notice about a question is a question takes you from where you are and expands it, even if just a little bit, into what could be. And this it's so fundamental and so crucial and so not what we were conditioned with. So the idea of asking a question, like I said, like, what else is possible? And then you just give it a moment. Okay, so this just occurred. I'd like something else. What else is possible? And in that, you're inviting everything that's available in the universe to contribute. And you're saying, I'm willing to have something different. And this is me asking for it. And then you let the universe, consciousness, whatever you are connected to, believe in, whatever, you let it contribute to you. And but the beauty of it is it's not limited to what you judged as the sources of contribution. It starts to unlimit the sources of contribution. And that's a really beautiful thing. How much have you decided that the structures that you created as you are you? And what if they're not? Just be with that for a moment. What if nothing you think is true about you that is limited is actually true? What's true always makes you lighter. A lie always makes you heavier. Because in saying that, notice how your autopilot wants to reject it. Notice how there's a part of you that's like, yes. And then there's another part that seems to come up and go, oh, pff, no way. Or you go, yes, and then check out so you don't have to be present for the conversation. But if everything that you thought was true about you that's limited is actually a lie, what other choices does that give you? We're just here for possibilities and to contribute to people and let people know it's possible to be with people who explore possibilities and want to contribute to you and want to receive from you and want, this is the world I would like to create. By the way, will you all say yes to having this? A world beyond judgment, a world of possibilities, a world where we have each other's backs, a world where truth is actualized and lies no longer succeed. What else is truly possible now? What else could you choose? Maybe consider choosing being more of you. You get to choose your own adventure, and it's beautiful. But what if you could, in choosing that adventure, have a lot more beauty, have a lot more ease, have a lot more joy, have a lot more caring for you and others, have a lot more contribution?